Boop. And the cat came back the very next day. Look at the camera, you jerk. We're putting on a performance. There you go. What's up, guys? We're doing a video today on the best trade I have had ever. It was a really cool trade. It was incredibly quick, and I think if it wasn't this quick, I actually probably would have messed it up. So it's going to be my biggest winner in terms of R, because I don't remember the exact amount that I had won at that time. It was much less than my actual account balance now, because it was a little while ago. But I will outline exactly my logic, and it's very similar to how I'm trading now. And let's kind of look about how I would be trading that's differently, looking back at this trade, knowing what I know now versus a few months ago when I did take this trade. It was a UJ trade, guys, and if you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can learn all of the amazing shit we teach here. Okay, so checking out the charts here, I've just pulled it up. It actually took me quite a while to find this, because it was actually all the way back in December of last year, actually. And I just remember this trade so clearly because it was so incredible of a trade, actually. So, you know, it took me a very long time to find this. So please hit that like button just for that effort. It took me maybe half an hour to scroll through this chart just to find it, because I remember it so well. So basically, what I was seeing here was kind of a ranging market with a kind of an uptrend going on, essentially, right? A little bit of an uptrend here. And what we're looking at here is, after we're seeing that we're retesting kind of these lows here, right? This demand area, we're really seeing things just popping off after making lows. And I had tried this a couple times, actually. So I would see sweeps below those lows, indicating that we were stopping people out, and then rallies up, and then I would wait for that retest here, and I would look for an entry right there, and I put the stop below there, and then I would target whatever, and I would take a couple little profits here, right? And then it would come back down, and it would hit the stop loss again. I believe I had tried again one more time after I had seen something like this go on, a sweep below that level there, and retest of this demand zone, this untested demand right here, right? That demand there. And then a little bit of popping off, changing direction again. We tried to market enter in there. I think this time I might have gotten stopped out, because I remember just having a little bit of trouble kind of getting this up to where I wanted it to come back up to these levels, right? We wanted to range trade this a little bit and get back to that untested supply zone up there, or these highs, right? And then I believe I got stopped out on that one. And then instantly we're kind of seeing very quickly that that we're actually sweeping below these ranges again, once again here, right? So these lows, right, getting swept a little bit, going back a little bit deeper into this range, and it's coming back up again. Okay, so what did I think here? So I think I still had that bias that I wanted to range trade it. I still was a little bit wanting to get into longs there, and I wanted to try one last time here. So what I did do is I actually looked and I said, okay, now that we're once again breaking to this upside, you know, closing back above that move, we're sweeping these lows even right here on a very low time frame. You can see sweeping those lows, we're sweeping these lows, changing the trend. What I wanted to do is look for an entry position, and I marked out this as our untested demand. It looked like it was a good area, and then all I did was I threw in an entry on that level, and then a stop below these lows right here, and then the very last target I shot for the very tops. Just naturally, that's where we wanted to throw it, at the very tops there. And I would have taken profits along the way, probably would have taken some profits right here, probably would have taken some profits right here, and maybe some here, and then left some running there. This is, again, back in the day, guys, where I had a little bit different trading style, and the way I trade now, the things that I'm kind of explaining right now, it seems a little bit odd to me, my logic, but it still does make sense. I would have actually chosen to be a little bit more careful in a case like this, where it just looks like it still could easily drop down, and I was really trying to push that reversal trade. And these are kind of the cases, if you're really trying to push those reversals, eventually you will get something that looks like this. And it went absolutely bonkers immediately. I got a little paranoid right here, and I took some off way too early even, but I took off 50% right there, and then I let the rest run there for over 11R trade. So essentially what this was, I think back in December, when I had much less money, I think I made a few grand or something on this trade. I don't know for sure because I only risked something like $100 or something like that. But it was basically all within a couple hours. We were able to get a couple of $1,000 just all in one trade. Now I did actually find, just from my log book at that point, I had written this down, guys. And this was basically my logic at the time because I was taking logs, screenshots of everything. And you can see that my logic was, I saw the broken base here, which I was just explaining there, the break back up after sweeping these lows, and then we waited for a retest of that demand zone and then entered on that. That's basically what I'm showing you here. And then we moved too quickly to take any profits here, so I just took 50% off there and then let the rest run, and then took it all off right around the top there for 11R trade. So this was actually back in my log book all the way back there. I didn't actually have a date on it, so it took me forever to find this. But yeah, super great trade. Now then, how would I have done this differently? And now that I know what I know now, let's just jump. I would have first of all put on multiple time frames, and I would have looked at this a little bit differently. So if we wanted to jump back, it's going to be kind of hard to find, but we can jump back to the 15-minute here maybe. Right, so I've put it on just the 4-hour and the 15-minute. I maybe would have been doing the 1 hour and the 5-minute, but it's going to be too difficult to scroll back that far on the 5-minute. So looking at the 4-hour, first of all, we need to develop our bias, right? So our bias was somewhat to the long side. We are actually arcing a little bit here. So I would have actually been a little bit more cautious coming into this, but we are showing some sort of support here. And actually, I probably wouldn't have taken this trade, as I do think it's kind of a fluke after we are seeing a rejection off of this. Let me delete these yellows here. The yellow lines were helping me find the area. So after we saw a rejection right here, I would have really thought it wouldn't have come back that strong. I wouldn't have shot for such a long target there, and I would have been satisfied that this would have been the actual final target for the long movement. So I probably actually wouldn't have even entered this trade in that terms there. Looking down on the 15-minute, we can see, okay, these sweeps, they kind of make sense for pullbacks up to here. That would have been fine. These are just very kind of iffy, I think, what I was playing with. I was basically trying to fight the trend. And this, I think, is all kind of a bad move. So I think this was a huge fluke, in my opinion. Looking at it now in the long run from behind, and most likely in the long run, these wouldn't have been profitable trades, because it's very likely after multiple tests of this range, 1, 2, 3, that this would have just completely broken down and then come back down to test this next zone, which is exactly what it did on the next leg up. So this was just essentially a big news event or a big stop hunt or something that the market makers pushed back up to fill some more orders before they actually did drop to that next level. And then that's what I would have been looking for. I would have actually been looking for shorts up here. When we actually did come back up here, I would have said, okay, now that we've satisfied this target, I would have actually looked for sweeps there, and that's the sweep that we'd be looking for, and we would have actually entered on a retest right here on a short. So it would have been a completely different setup. I would have been looking for a short here, stops above there, and then we would have shorted it back down. So it would have actually been the exact opposite trade, shooting for those lows there, but only a 4R trade this time. Luckily, we got lucky that time, and we don't always need to be good. We just need to be lucky, I suppose. If you guys like my content, if you like how I explain things, please make sure you watch those live streams. I'm going to go in much more detail of my current strategy. And if you are looking for a community to share your ideas with, there's a link in the description, as well as a Signal group link in the description. You can check those out on your own free will.
Listen.